Alright. Hey guys, Andy here. And this video is going to be a bit interesting for me because I think this is going to be quite an important video for me personally to look back on, because this is going to be the start of me journaling in video format. And I imagine I'm going to look back on this video many times in my life. I plan to start doing video journals, irregularly. There's no real set time scale for this kind of stuff. I'll do it whenever I think the time seems relevant to say things. Something's on my mind. I've been having a lot of failures lately, a lot of wins. Just got stuff to say, things to think about, and I hope this can sort of document my growth, and that has great benefit for me, and I hope it has great depths of benefit for people watching this now and even in the future to see, I'm a flawed human being and I'm growing as a person. And it's generally the perspective and goal I want this channel to have, but especially with this series, I want it to illustrate and show that, I'm flawed and I'm trying to figure stuff out and I'm growing as a person. It'll be very interesting to see this in the years to come. I plan to stick at this, have this on my mind throughout, I think, the rest of my life. I think that would be interesting to look back on this many years later and to see how I've changed. It's a bit nerve-wracking that this is the video. But I guess, YouTubers do this all the time where they go back and look at their past content, and it does have a sort of, way about it. It's a lot of people don't start doing this stuff perfect or refined as to how they became, that can take years, maybe even decades in certain circumstances to feel that way and to seem that way. But yeah, so this is me now. I'm currently not wearing a hoodie because it is incredibly hot. I'm actually sweating right now. Is far too hot here. And by too hot, I mean like 23, 24 Celsius. Unbelievable. Like I can't do this in this temperature. It's been bothering, and I've still got to get through the summer with all this heat. It's too much for me. Anyway, my point being, it is far too hot, and don't want to just talk about that. I actually want to talk about what's happening in my life, and I'm missing like a few things here or there. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to encourage people to start journaling, start writing, and this is part of what I was talking about in the previous video, is this idea of introspection and writing things down, and the utility of it, and how useful that can be for us to sort of reflect on our lives and practice introspection, and see how we've grown, document that stuff, yada. I think one of the most important things in life, if not the most important thing in life, is the ability to make and develop healthy relationships with people. I think that's like a very important skill to get through life. And, when you do that, it has a lot of different benefits. And one being is that, and this is the case if you're making friends and have family members in your life, just people generally in your life who are in your best interest in the regards of they'll keep you true to yourself of who you are now, and they will push you to become who you're meant to become, like by your own accord, or by their rough idea of what that should look like. And they're in your best interest, and they'll have a good idea what they think that should be. And it keeps you sort of regulated on the right path of what's potential for you to become, and that's very important. But sometimes you can't have that. Maybe you're not you don't have that friendship group right now, or people aren't always in your life. Sometimes you have to figure out things on your own, just because people aren't around, or because it's something you can't really talk about with people, or maybe it's something that's just beyond people. I've definitely had that case where I've had problems and difficulties that are just too out there of problems for other people to deal with. It's just not. Some of the things I think about are the kind of things that a lot of people don't think about in life. That, though I would say it's very much the kind of stuff they have to somehow deal with, either knowingly addressing it, or finding some other kind of methods of getting around it the long way, or just yeah, I don't know. I don't think you have to be so direct about it in life. Anyway, so when you can't get insight from people about who you are and what you're becoming, you have to, if you want to grow as a person and understand and learn important pieces of information, you need to practice introspection. And I kind of talked about that in the previous video, in part. Like, I know it was a very long video. A lot of things to say about that video, and I'll talk about that later in this video about how I'm feeling about this channel, what's my headspace like, but I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, introspection to go a little bit over again about, introspection is sort of like thinking about your thinking and being very questioning about your thoughts. So, what's it called? Critical thinking, and there's very much a component of that. And you can do this quite easily, I would say, by just asking questions about your thoughts and your thought processes, and keep doing that over and over again. Try to ask interesting, useful questions. Maybe try to have it in your mind that you're trying to ask these questions as if your thoughts are coming from another person, and try to see yourself from that other lens. Or maybe even try to question yourself as though you are a different character. You're not yourself trying to ask yourself these questions. I know that can kind of be difficult and a weird, wacky idea to think about things, but I'm just suggesting some things that might be useful for people. I don't really know how to suggest things for people other than just think about your thoughts, ask these questions, and maybe simulate these characters in your head. Think about what some people you respect, be it people you know, or people like celebrities or famous people or historical figures. What would they think of you, and what would they ask of you? Maybe that would be a useful idea as well, to sort of get you thinking about new thoughts. And when you have these good thoughts, write them down, save them in your head. They're worthwhile doing that, and you can, it's a great way to generate new information. I don't know, I think that maybe it's a bit too obvious, and I'm just thinking about it too much, but I think it's interesting of an idea that you can generate new information just by thinking. And you can do a lot of that. If you wanted to, you could even generate an entire heavy lore universe in your head. And I guess people have done that, and that's basically like creativity and writing stuff. You can do a lot of that stuff. Like, I don't know, what's his name? The guy that wrote Lord of the Rings, like that's a huge amount of lore, and he did that on large part by himself. There's so much depth and information to that, and complexity. Like, I think he even developed a language like that's canon in the universe to the Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I'm not that much of a Lord of the Rings fan, so I don't know what I'm really saying too much. I've watched the movies and I know a little bit, but my point is, you can generate new information in your head by thinking. And that's worth thinking about. At least I think so. Yeah, so I think that's about what I can say on that. Hopefully that's helpful to people. And I'm going to sort of talk about what I'm up to. I don't know what this is. I'm still getting used to this, by the way, all this webcam stuff. Talking to the camera, figuring out what to say. It's nerve-wracking. I'm oftentimes sweating too much because it's nervous. Also, especially like today, it's far too hot. I think the last couple of videos I've actually recorded them at night, so it's been quite not so hot. But today I'm already sweating and I don't like it. But yeah, it's strange to record myself like this. I don't know. I'm still not used to it. Like, I hope by like, I don't know, video 50, I feel easygoing about it. Maybe I need to live stream. Maybe that's what I need to do. I might do that if well, I don't know. I guess there's not really anything stopping me, even if nobody's really watching. I don't know. Maybe I just need to sit down and sort of record like this, because it is a different type of thinking. It's not the same as sort of thinking in your head. I also find it very tedious where I have to like look up to this thing, the camera, because I like to look around and think. Like, I don't really think when I'm directly looking at something. It's almost distracting that I have to stare at this, and sometimes, I don't know, people don't like getting stared at, and I know I'm not actually staring at somebody, but it just feels uncomfortable. I don't know, maybe that's it. Maybe it feels uncomfortable for me to stare at something. And I don't know, I guess I stare at things when I'm watching them, trying to learn something about them, but I'm not really doing that. when I stare at this camera thingy, it feels a bit weird and not human, and I want my eyes to wander like my mind. I guess I've wandered a bit too much right now with that, but I think that's what this is meant for. Me wandering with my thoughts and just saying what's on my mind. So yeah, like this past month, I've been journaling, writing down sort of what I think is sort of worthwhile to write about. Trying to have something meaningful to write down. Don't want to. I don't know. I'm not really one for the mundane, so I try to not write so much of that kind of stuff in my journal. But a lot of it's sort of my goals with things like my weight loss, dating, maybe the coronavirus. Oh, I got a new puppy recently, like Kylo. I don't know that this is strange because I am aware of like when I record this particular series of videos, I'm kind of going to be talking to myself, like my future self, which is an eerie, strange thought. He's going to be watching me, judging me, and different versions of myself in the future like that. But he knows what I'm talking about, little Kylo. Yeah, he's a cute guy. Taking lots of pictures and videos of him, playing around with him, and yeah, that's been fun. That's been keeping my sort of spirits and emotions kind of up. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've only had him for like a couple of days, maybe a little over a week, and I feel like he's taken quite a liking to me already. That's that's good. A puppy likes me. I'm taking a lot from that. That's giving me some boosts up for my self-confidence. You're not doing everything wrong if a puppy likes you. That's some good advice right there. Yeah, I don't know. Like he wags his tail when he sees me. He runs up to me, plays. He doesn't really know his name yet. That might take some a little bit more time, but like it's a bit annoying that he doesn't know his name. He's been a little rascal with the other dog, Cooper. They've not. Well, I don't know. He likes Cooper, it seems, but Cooper's not quite ready for him yet. Cooper's my other dog. He's not a person. But yeah, Kylo's been running about. He's been getting stuck under the couch. Well, not stuck under the couch, hiding under the couch. He's been adventurous. He's a tiny little guy. He's a Yorkie pug mix. Yeah, in case you forget, I'm talking to myself there. Like future me. I don't know. I kind of want this to be a bit rambly and me explore sort of aspects of my life. I don't want to be just about mental health stuff. I kind of want it to be sort of a documentation, a vlog, about me and my life and my thoughts. Yeah, let's just sort of wander and fiddle around. But yeah, like I've been thinking about mental health a lot lately, and that's definitely sort of my approach in life, and specifically with this channel very much. Ooh, getting a message on Snapchat, but not answering that right now. Oh, I lost my train of thought. I was also doing really well with weight loss stuff. That was interesting because I'm planning to like lose a bunch of weight over the summer. I think that would be good for me because I was in really great shape this recent December, and then I put on like 25 pounds like in the past 6-7 months, which I do not like. I don't look too bad. Like I think we would all kind of agree that I'm not like a super heavy set guy. And I used to be like over 200 pounds, and that was quite a heavy weight with my height. I think I'm like 5'8". Yeah, it's not ideal being 200 plus pounds at that height. I don't like it, and I'm sort of barely content at this weight right now. But I plan to lose plenty of weight over the summer. I'm actually going to I'm going to be documenting it and trying to work really hard on it. And at some point, I'm hoping to put up a video on this channel sort of talking about my journey with that and some details about my experience with being overweight and my sort of thoughts on food and exercise and like my sort of history with that kind of stuff. Like show like another sort of side of me and talk about my own sort of experiences on the channel in relation to sort of a mental health related thing. I think that would be interesting and maybe even inspiring for people, showing people what's possible and showing what I'm capable to myself and to others. I think that would be pretty good. COVID has been, a thing. We all know what that is. Yeah, and yeah, the UK is doing its thing right now, trying to figure it out. I hope it works. I can't really be upset about how COVID is being dealt with because I can't really control it. I can only control what I sort of do about it, and yeah, I hope it works out. It's some of it looks optimistic. What things could turn out to be. Um, I hope. Oh yeah, I got an email a couple of days ago saying like sort of confirming my college course for social sciences for this after the summer. Like I've got my timetable and I've got to like enroll online. I'll do that soon. But yeah, I got all that information about my college, and apparently it starts in mid September, my course, but the course is still going to be online, which I don't feel so thrilled about, and it doesn't quite make sense to me with the government's plans. So I feel like maybe they're trying to be careful about the information and how things are setting up. Because if they told us, yeah, you're going to probably come on campus, and then for whatever reason, because this COVID stuff is very unpredictable, they were like, oh, actually, no, then that would be quite devastating rather than the other way around. So, I mean, I think and hope that they change their thinking with it in the next month or two. I anticipate that will happen, and I hope it does, because I really, really want to be on campus and actually living the college experience, because I never got to do that. I'm 25 years old now, and I didn't end up going to college or further education, and maybe I should have. And like I don't know, I have all sorts of issues and feelings on that, and I don't like that I didn't. I don't know. I have some regrets of not going into college. Like, I used to be quite anti further education, and I still have that sort of thing about me, for certain reasons. I don't have to go into that right now, and I still have that a little bit. But I have learned that there is value to these sort of social structures and being involved in that. Like, it's a good place to if you pick the right course and you're like open to things, and yeah, I don't know, you approach people and the right people, and you're sensible with that kind of stuff, it can be a great opportunity to meet valuable people to yourself, like the lecturers and peers, maybe even develop a very intimate relationship, like both in terms of like friendships and romantic relationships. I think it's very important for your personal development, and I never got to experience that, and now I'm about to hopefully get to have that. I very much would like to actually get to experience that kind of stuff, because it's not been what's the word? It's a C word. Conducive. I think that's it. It's not been conducive of developing friendships doing it online. Like it's difficult to approach people. It's not ideal circumstances. I've not liked it. It's been difficult to make friends digitally on college. It's a strange thing, especially that most of my peers, because I'm doing a social sciences course, most of my peers are women. I don't have any problems with that, but when it comes to online, it's a bit weird to approach people, like to message people, because it's like, oh, what are you doing? I don't want to. I'm kind of looking over my shoulders with that kind of feeling and worrying about that. But I've talked to some people, and people seem to be approachable online. But I think it'd be a lot easier in person. And I'd like to do that, and also certainly make a lot of male friends. Like I would like to make some male friends, and I don't know, play video games with people that I know in person, and also, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, go to the gym. Like those kind of things. Like I think those are things that I would, it's more of an attribute that I could find in guys. Of course, I could do that with women, but it's just, I don't know. I think I don't know how comfortable I would be with going to the gym with a girl, and I don't know if they would generally be comfortable with that. And I think it would be a bit more interesting to be a bit more bro-y, even though I'm not really like that. I think that would be interesting to like go on a sort of weightlifting and like a body composition change with another dude. Like that would be interesting. Maybe even we would make it a competitive thing. Yeah, I think that would be very interesting. And it's kind of the same thing with video games. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about how this channel stuff's going, like, because I haven't really gotten the opportunity to talk about that in a sort of relaxed format. I really want to get to the point where I can just freeform talk, like, because I'm editing these videos and there's certain cuts every now and again, like maybe every 2 minutes or 5 minutes. I sort of run out of steam and I need a moment to think. It's hard. I would like to be able to just turn this on and record and be able to ramble for like 10, 15 minutes, maybe even an hour. Get to that level. Why not? If you can do 10 minutes, why can't you do 60 minutes? That'd be great if I had that ability to go from one topic to the next like that. And I guess the reason why I can't do that is because this is sort of new, to think like this, to record yourself like this, to think so freeingly like this. I feel like I need a moment sometimes to think about something and get myself on track to think about things. Maybe it's just a matter of practice. Same thing with looking at this, the camera. I just like did that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna maintain eye contact. Then I looked away. I just find it so difficult to maintain eye contact like this. It's weird. And there I've just lost my train of thought, and now I need to look at my notes to see what I can talk about. Don't know if I want to talk about that yet. Yeah, I want this to be relatively not too long. Don't know if that was an accurate sentence or like if I can say that out loud. I'm having a moment right now where I feel like I'm not doing words right now. Right. Okay. So yeah, college. Right now I'm doing a social sciences course, and that involves psychology and sociology and a handful of other like subjects. And I think I'm going to continue on with psychology and get to mental health. That's my thinking right now. However, I do want to dabble, explore, either take classes or talk to people in these other classes, or maybe even the lectures. Maybe even get myself into these lectures. If I can do that, maybe sneak in or just maybe ask if I can go into some of these other lectures. But I would like to dabble in creative industries, because that's originally what I was meant to do after high school, but that didn't happen. And then I'm quite interested in philosophy as well. I'd like to learn a little bit like that. I think that would be useful for me. So I don't know, I want to dabble that when I'm on college. I don't know how viable that will be. And then also keep doing that kind of thing, exploring those subject matters in university when I eventually get there. Yeah, I'm curious to see what further education offers in that regards, and also what people are like in each of these fields, because I would imagine I would take a liking to the creatives and the creative industries, and I would imagine I would really appreciate how people in philosophy think, like how sort of that they don't feel scared to think, like they're very that's their thing. They enjoy doing that. And then with psychology people, I think a lot of psychology people are really into criminology, and that's not really why I'm doing psychology. But there will be some people that I come across who are doing psychology because they want to get into mental health and have an involvement in that and understanding that, and that's their thing about how they want to go about life. So there's like those three different areas that I would like to learn a lot more about. So that's the plan. I want to learn those things and also learn what those people are like. I'm quite curious about all that. I'm going to have a lot to say about that, I think, on this channel when I eventually get on campus and I'm doing that kind of stuff. If I'm still online, then I'll give that a shot for a while. Try to make friends and communicate with people and get to know people, just online. But there is a possibility that I would be inclined to drop out if it doesn't seem like in the foreseeable future that I'm going to be on campus, because I just don't think not having the campus experience is worth my time. Something I really want. I think it would do me a lot of good, and if I'm not going to get it sort of in the foreseeable future, then I might as well try to focus my energy and time on other things. I think that would be more effective. Maybe even invest more into this channel. I'm trying to do that as much as possible. Over the summer, because I have a lot of free time, like especially right now. Speaking of which, I was planning to upload twice a week on this channel. It's turned out not to be that, and there are reasons and factors for that, and I want to talk about that. Like, so yeah, I've been wanting to do 2 uploads a week, and it's turned into more like once a week. I'm not happy about that. That's not what I want to go to plan. I still want to strive for this double uploads a week. But the reason for that is because I do feel scared to do this. It does feel there's a thing in me that's sort of keeping me away from it. I don't know. The past week, I've just wanted to play video games, chat to girls on from Bumble, listen to podcasts. I think I said play video games. I just want to kind of relax and do that kind of stuff a little bit. But I know that's not really beneficial for me long term. I think this is beneficial for me long term. I think it will benefit others long term as well. So I should be trying to work on this as much as possible. There's a bit of a fear exploring this stuff, getting it wrong, doubt in myself of not being the person I'm trying to be. Another reason why this isn't working out the way I would hope with the uploads quantity is because the videos have turned out to be a lot longer than I anticipated. The videos actually take about the time that I would imagine them to take. About for the entire process of each video, roughly speaking, they take anywhere from 5 to 10 hours. And I could probably cut that down if I got a little bit more efficient with things, like because I've got to write notes. Well, I don't know. I have the ideas beforehand. I have to write the notes, record the video, edit it, render it, upload it. That all takes time. But I could streamline that a lot more to have it less than 5-10 hours. But what I didn't anticipate with these videos was the length of them. My last video was an hour long. I had no idea that video was going to be that length. I thought it would be a 30-minute video. No. It's I don't know. I didn't think I would get to the point of making a video that long this quickly. That's I'm surprised by that. So maybe I have to cut myself some slack about the idea of the number of videos and appreciate like how much content I've already gotten out. I've already got like 2 hours of content out. Don't know how long this video is going to be. But like, yeah, I'm putting out a lot more content in terms of time opposed to videos. So yeah, I think I need to cut myself some slack in that regards. And I still think even the videos are taking me longer. I still think they're appropriately quantified, like dense in information. But for being raw and freeform, I do think they're not like catastrophic messes that they feel like they are when while I'm recording. They don't turn out that way, I feel like. Could be wrong. Please let me know in the comments. I'd love feedback on this kind of stuff. I do need to get a lot more feedback. I need to like chase up some friends about that a bit more, because I really do not know how this stuff is being received. I only know what I'm thinking about this kind of stuff. It has been interesting, like seeing myself do this. It's been a learning experience. Like there have been times where I'm just talking out loud, and then a new idea emerges, or I like how I've said something, and then how I went about it. It's been interesting to unfold, and this is only the beginning. So what's going to come? Like, I before I started this channel, like months before this channel was created, I was thinking to myself, okay, the first video is going to be something, and the first couple of videos are going to be something, and I'm not going to really be super proud of that, but there's going to be a gleam of potential there that I can look at and think, okay, if I do this 100 times more, or maybe even 1,000 times more, what does that look like? And then across that journey, what interesting things are said and what interesting things are done and accomplished. And then once I get to video 100 or video 1000, what abilities do I have then for future videos? That's an interesting thing to climb your way up to that and think about things in that regard. I'm very interested in just really improving, and it's going to get very interesting, all this kind of stuff. And I've been planning like certain things that I can do to upgrade the quality. Like I do plan to eventually get a camera, maybe invest in. Yeah, I think the next purchase will be a camera. Some friends were suggesting that I should get like a a backdrop. Maybe I'll invest in like an actual studio space and have like an actual recording environment. And maybe I don't know. I'm not going to talk about the logistics of that. I do want to increase the quality in these videos in terms of the information I'm trying to share, the quality, like camera and microphone stuff, like all the technical production quality. Yeah, I want to like improve in all the ways, and really have something here that's great for people to learn from. Right now, this is pretty much just for my friends, myself, and some internal communities that I'm aware of and like I'm sort of part of. But over time, I would like this to sort of branch out to larger communities online, and to be involved in the algorithm. And I don't know how far I'm going to go with this, but like I do genuinely want to help people, and part of that is I need to get myself out there and have people listening to me, and it's actually meaningful and worthwhile to people. And that involves me having a certain level of popularity. So I do want to be on the very actual, like I know this is on the public stage, it's out there on the internet for anybody to see. But eventually I would maybe like it to get to a point where a lot of people are seeing this, and that gets me to have certain opportunities, and maybe even get to have certain conversations with people, be it other YouTubers of various like sizes and content creations and aspirations. Same thing with like people who are qualified to talk into these kind of fields, or like experts. Yeah, like it'd be interesting to get on a psychologist on to talk about some things to do with mental health, maybe even like career stuff for me, because I'm thinking about getting into sort of career with psychology and psychologist perhaps. And then I don't know who else could I get. Like I don't know. I'd be open to all sorts of people. I would like to do a podcast interview series. I think that would be interesting. I'm not going to get too much into it right now, but I have ideas about that. That could be interesting. So yeah, this channel has been an interesting little project. It's nervous. It's what's the word? It's exciting and scary to do this. I still kind of feel that. I hope I'm improving. It's daunting. It really is daunting. So I think I'm going to try to do a little summary now. Right now, I'm trying to do this YouTube thing, trying to lose weight, deal with all the COVID stuff that's messy and complicated. I'm trying to develop my friendships and relationships with people. I'm on Bumble right now, trying to meet my future girlfriends, and treating that like a sort of a learning experience with every person that I meet and talk to. That's been interesting. I might come up with a video at some point about my dating life, because that's been crazy. I didn't think I would be doing this sort of well with it. It's strange to even think and say that I'm doing well with it so far, and it's been eye-opening. So much to learn from it. And yeah, I don't know, COVID. I feel like I haven't mentioned that too much, because mind you, everybody's sort of talking about it. It's on everybody's minds. Part of the reason why I've been thinking about this mental health stuff, and I want to do this YouTube stuff, is that I think mental illness is going to become a bigger problem, and coronavirus is a big accelerator of the sort of problems of mental health. I don't think we've really seen it and seen how bad it's affecting people yet. Though it clearly is affecting people pretty badly. A lot of people feel quite isolated and alone, and that's doing people real great deal hardships for their mental health. And there's going to be consequences to that. And I want to try to do my part to get involved for that. Again, like there's so many different reasons, but COVID is part of it. And I'm quite worried about people right now because of what COVID has done to people, because it's magnified people to a huge degree. It's not trivial. It's scary. And it touches me emotionally, and I do it's touched me emotionally, and I'm like emotionally moved to do something about it. I don't know, make that of what you will, but that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm feeling about all this stuff. I try to listen to that sort of feeling and thinking as well. Just this idea of feeling compelled to do something. Like, I think I've sort of developed that in myself this past year or two, and I try to listen to it and chase it as much as possible. To do good and to do something meaningful for myself and others. I'm still exploring that. I want more of that experience to discover what I should be doing and what's good for people and myself. It's strange that I'm finally on this track, this direction that's positive. Even though I'm navigating dark forces within myself and throughout the world, it's strange that I'm having this opportunity to do that, because it got real dark and scary for me in 2019. I got really close to dying, and I was really scared of that. That stuff still haunts me. And now I'm here. I'm headed in this direction, and in a sense, I did die. So much of myself is gone and died. Then in 2019, and then in 2020, and it's parts of myself are still dying. I'm talking about, for the most part, the bad aspects of myself. I very much grew as a person and changed in a lot of different ways. It's strange. It freaks me out to think what I'm going to become in a couple of years. Like, it. I don't know. I just looked at the camera there, imagining the 30-year-old version of me, looking at this and thinking things. I imagine 30-year-old me will think the same way as I think about the younger version of myself from like a couple of years ago, or maybe somebody in my like early 20s, like 5 years ago, let's just say. And that's sort of like just sort of empathy, and like, okay, this person's having like a sort of tough time. They're navigating tough things by themselves. And I don't know, in the past I was really clueless about that, but now I'm on a lot better path. I know that much. I know I'm in the right direction, but I don't have it figured out, you know. But like, and I knew this at the time when I was in my early 20s. I knew I was clueless. I didn't know where I was headed or what was going to happen. I didn't know how to help myself or how to even talk about my problems. You know, like that's you've got to be able to do that. Identify your problems before you can even begin to try to appropriately solve them. If you don't do that, then it's sort of a guessing game, and there's a high likelihood you'll do more damage to yourself if you're running about that clueless. But yeah, like, man, 30-year-old me, that's crazy, you know. Yeah, people can easily make that joke of, oh, 30-year-old, so old, but there's so much wisdom and experience. I anticipate, you know, that person becoming that person I'm going to become. You know, in the years, as long as I keep heading in this direction, I don't go like down a destructive path or nothing insanely catastrophic happens that I can't handle, then that's, yeah, might not be the case. Though I have been quite a resilient person. I have dealt with like very difficult things. Yeah, I kind of mentioned that in my first video. I won't sort of repeat myself. You know, I'll talk about all that kind of stuff, and a lot more. In a later time, in a more appropriate sort of setting video. But yeah, like I am so curious as to what that person's like, because I can't fathom it. It's unbelievable. It's going to be something for myself and for other people. Like I people looked at me and treated me a certain way when I was really struggling, and it wasn't nice. It was not kind. I was very much seen as a lost cause, and I don't think that was fair. Even though I was very much a lost cause, I don't think it was fair to come to certain conclusions about me and treat me a certain way. But now I am at this point, and people receive me a certain way. Like, there are certain qualities that I'm very much like, that people very much appreciate me for. And you know, that's great, but like, what are people gonna think as I head more in that direction of trying to become this person that I'm trying to become? I don't know. It's going to be quite something to marvel at. I'm gonna really. I think I'm going to really be helping people, and really have a massive impact on people. That's where I'm headed with this kind of stuff, and it's such a weighty down responsibility, because I don't feel right now ready to become that person. But you know, over time, I'm going to gradually become that person. It's hard to imagine me becoming that person, but I'm headed in that direction. It's exciting and scary, and I doubt myself so much that I'm not going to be it. I'm not going to become that. But at the same time, what I am now is just unimaginable. I am a shock, a real horror to a lot of people, and for good reasons. I kind of made that sound a bit like scary. Yeah. But yeah, like there's certain qualities. Like what do people call me? Like I'm talking about certain qualities. Like I don't really agree with this one, but people say I'm not judgmental. I don't quite agree with that. I know what they mean. They mean I'm not. I don't judge people in poor taste or unfairly. But I am judging people when I talk to them, when I'm listening to them, because like I'm actually thinking. Like I think judging the same way as thinking. Like to not judge is to not think in my mind. So I think it's good to judge people. I don't think it's good to judge people unfairly, and I would say people actually do want to be judged. People want to be judged empathetically. Because there are circumstances where somebody's probably in a very bad situation, and it could be very easy to, you know, oh, they're in a bad situation, they're doing these bad things, and just come to the conclusion and judge them, they're a bad person. And you wouldn't entirely be wrong to come to that conclusion. But then there's also judging somebody through an empathetic lens. And that's what I do. And people definitely see that I do that. That's definitely something people appreciate. Even if they're in the bad situation in their life right now. It doesn't have to be like that forever, you know? Like I do... My mouth is all dry. Jeez, I've been talking that long. I do believe in the redemption story for people. I do encourage that sort of thinking to myself and for others. I do want people to get better. I have hope for people in that regards. I do try to see people through that lens, and not to be cruel to people and see them as monsters, even though people are monsters. But that's a story for another time. Like my perspective on that. I try to be kind to people and be a good help to them. But yeah, like I've been growing and changing so fast that I'm not even ready for how different people treat me. Like that's been something I've been trying to adjust to, is that people are nicer and different with me now. And that's a combination of because I'm meeting new people that are different than my past people that I've came across and have been involved with. And also our relationships have been developing differently. They know me as a different version, so therefore they treat me differently. And I don't know, I could go down a deeper rabbit hole with that that's not so glamorous, but again, sorry for another time. I'll get to that sort of thinking eventually. But okay, I'm going to be honest, I really, really lost my train of thought badly there. I was talking about people and how they treat me differently, and I'm still getting used to that. I think that was my last thought. I don't exactly know where I was going with that, but yeah, I'm trying to get used to that. That's been interesting and kind of good. But like, I don't know, because of my past experiences, it's a bit difficult to trust people, and really let people in. Though I have been trying to do that, and it's just been difficult. And I have gotten some places with people. Like I definitely do welcome some people in, and have certain interesting conversations with them, and I try my best to be there for them. And yeah, I've been rambling on for too long. I hope this is a decent video to glean from, and this I can get more refined with this sort of series in a sort of right now it's just very raw. And there's pros and cons to that. I'm figuring this out and getting used to it. But yeah, I hope there's some takeaways to people for this. I hope there's takeaways for myself in future. Yeah, please do let me know in the comments down below. Give me feedback on this. What are you thinking about the journey I'm on? Like, either be it you're knowing me through this sort of interface, or because you know me through the combination of that, and also you know me as a person. Like you've actually had a conversation with me. What do you think about the person I'm becoming and where I'm headed? What do you think is out there for me? Because it's I don't know. I keep thinking about that. I have this thing where I have thoughts that keep me thinking, or don't let me not think. I feel compelled to think when I have some of these thoughts, and one of these thoughts is, I've talked about it a few times in this video, is who am I going to be when I'm 30, or even who am I going to be in the next 2 years, because it's going to be radically different. I'm heading in a particular direction, but I don't know what that's going to look like. I can't fathom that. That's just unbelievable. But it's going to be quite something, I think. I can do the math and the step-by-step logics of it. It gets vaguer as I go further away, but it's in a certain direction, so it must lead somewhere like there, and it's a strange thought to think about. I don't know. I feel like I've been rambling on too much about that thought, but it's something I think about a lot. I guess I'm just gonna have to have it unfold and keep heading myself in this direction. Stay true to myself with that, but also be willing to grow and have myself come across people that are going to encourage that and want that for me. Yeah, it's quite something. That another thing is, because of all the work I've done on myself, like losing weight, getting healthier, bettering my mental health, like all these things contribute to that, shaving as well, and like hair and that kind of stuff, like probably skin stuff, because I'm like, I don't know, I've been taking better care of myself in many different ways. Like I've been taking better care of my health, not just care in regards to my mental health, but like my health in general in a dozen plus different ways. And that resulted in me looking different. And I think there's an element of my perception of myself as well. So a combination of the health, how I actually look, and my perception of myself. I feel like I look totally different. I almost don't really like recognize myself. It's strange. I'm quite, I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know. I didn't really think of myself in this sort of way, but I feel like I'm a decent looking guy, right? I don't know. Like I don't think I'm it, but yeah, I don't feel so sort of self-conscious about myself too much. At least not in like my appearance. Maybe like in terms of my thought processes, but maybe that's not something I should worry about, because people say that I'm intelligent and I'm articulate. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you see the insecurity there, and then there's a few other things here and there like that I'm probably quite insecure about. But like, yeah, like that's how much I've changed as my perception of myself and how I actually look. It's just so different. It's quite nutty. I think I'm gonna just leave it there. I think I've been recording this for 50 minutes, something like that. Around about 50 minutes now. It's not an hour though. Whew. Don't know how long this video will be, but yeah. Please give me feedback in the comments. I really need feedback. If there's anything you want me to talk about as well, please let me know. I'll do that at some point probably. I would love to know what people need or want to get help with, or hear me talk about. Please give me ideas and help me like provide like all the things. Yeah, this is an exciting journey. I'm still terrified, but I'm doing it. Okay, see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, seriously. Thank you. Bye. Whew.